Hey guys, what's up? This is Insanity, and I got another gameplay of Black Ops 3 on a PC. This was my first game back into Black Ops 3 after a long while, and I do just okay. I still end up first on the scoreboard, but of course that also means that with this being a average video, it's absolutely perfect for commentary fodder. It's a long video, which is good for this topic that I'm about to discuss. I'm in the early phases of my Captain America Civil War hype. I know that it's not out in theaters yet, but technically it's already out. The critics have seen it, people at the LA red carpet premiere have seen it, fans have seen it, and overall the general reception of Civil War is that it's one hell of a movie for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's not what DC fans would like to hear, but it's Batman vs Superman done right. Which is really sad when you consider the fact that Warner Brothers scheduled Batman vs Superman on the same date as the movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that would eventually become Captain America Civil War. So then, if Civil War and Batman vs Superman were to come out on the exact same date as originally scheduled, well, Warner would look incredibly foolish, even though they already look foolish right now. But they will look really foolish, putting their movie to one that is doing the exact same concepts as Batman vs Superman, but executing it in a much better fashion. That cannot be good for Warner Brothers and especially DC fans who have been waiting for Batman vs Superman for 3 years already. It was supposed to come out in 2015, but then they delayed it in order to polish a movie. And for a movie, 3 years later, to come out the way it did, well, even for fans who love Batman vs Superman, I think they could agree that it could have been so much more than what it was. I already given my thoughts on the matter. Batman vs Superman was just an average movie. It could have been done much better, and I was not hyped for it to begin with, so that definitely made things easier on me, but it definitely didn't make things easier on DC fans who were eagerly anticipating this movie. I mean, come on, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all in the same movie? I mean, that should be printing big bucks right there, like Avengers kind of money, and yet they completely squandered it. They squandered its potential with subpar execution, and now they had their competitor bring out a movie doing the exact same thing, but doing it in a much better fashion that I don't know how they could live with themselves after knowing this. I do think that the DC universe in the movies will continue, but they definitely need to do some real course correction. They can't really have the audience be apathetic towards their movies when they're having a whole universe on screen, because if you can't get the general public, not fans, the general public on board with your universe, then wow, maybe you should kind of give up on putting the universe on screen and just continue making more Batman movies. But yeah. And so obviously I'm eagerly looking forward to Civil War. I'm a Marvel guy, so that'll make me incredibly biased, but I definitely want to go in with an open mind. There's lots of good things I've been hearing about Civil War, but most of those are pretty much surface level, superficial. I'm really hoping that Civil War is a good balance of fan service and the story it's trying to tell. It can't just be all fan service, which is what Batman vs Superman tried to do. They tried to have a serious story, but eventually the fan service took over and it completely undermined the story it was trying to tell. And so Batman vs Superman ended up all the worse off for it. But Civil War, it could be very fan servicey, but if the story's not good, then I'll definitely be disappointed. I really love Winter Soldier because it had a good story and had a serious tone, and then there's these superficial aspects such as the Easter eggs and the action scenes. I don't know about you, but anyone who likes Winter Soldier a lot, the first thing I see them pointing their fingers to in regards to a thing that they really like from it are the action scenes. And yes, Winter Soldier had great action, but I really feel like there's a sense of dishonesty with people who like Winter Soldier because they like the serious story, they like the action scenes, but I'm not sure if they find the movie memorable beyond that. I like the action scenes, I like the serious tone, I like the story, and I just love the way that Captain America was portrayed. I also love the fact that the entire cast that were in the movie, all the characters that were in the movie, they all had adequate screen time and none of them felt wasted. Those are things I liked about Winter Soldier. For people to cite the action scenes right away with Winter Soldier in regards to the things they like about it, yeah, cool, the action scenes are great, and I definitely agree that the action scenes are highlight, but do you really like Winter Soldier? I'm not so sure that you really do. So I really feel kind of skeptical when people say Winter Soldier is one of their favorites or their favorite Marvel movies, because action scenes are only one aspect of presentation. The rest of the movie, the rest of the presentation should just be as well polished and well done. Action scenes should not be the main meal of the presentation, so to speak. But yeah, I like Winter Soldier, and it was my favorite Marvel movie. I think Civil War will probably take its place. Of course, the movie should still be really good, even if the fan service is going to be really great. In regards to First Avenger, the first Captain America movie, I didn't love it, but I did like it. I really liked the character of Steve Rogers in that movie, and I did not get behind Captain America the character until Winter Soldier. But I definitely liked Steve Rogers and Captain America the First Avenger. It was just unfortunate that the second half was rushed, and all the more so because they had the Avengers movie coming out and they really needed Cap in the present day. So his World War II exploits were completely glossed over in a montage, which made the movie a little worse off. But I think that it executes everything else so well, including the origin of Steve Rogers and giving it a nice pulpy and fun tone. And so even though people probably find Cap 1 completely forgettable or just average or mediocre, I think that it's still a good movie in a sense. It definitely could have been done better, but it does just enough to it does just enough things right to not be completely written off. But yeah, imagine if Captain America the First Avenger was done in such a way that the whole movie was not just a one-off. The whole movie would not just be a filler until Avengers. Anyway, that's the gameplay and commentary. Hope you enjoyed it, and Insanity is out.